themes, or styles of classics, and creativity. 1. The process of classics being. When classics are mythologized, they become spiritual shackles. This thinking reveals the dual role of classic works in culture. They are symbols of wisdom and beauty, but they can also become a shackle on thought and creativity. 1. The process of classics being mythologized. The power of mythologization. Classics often become classics because they have stood the test of time and have been recognized and passed down by generations. However, once classics are given a mythical status, they are not just achievements in art or literature, but become a symbolic authority. They are regarded as models that cannot be surpassed, and even become sacred and inviolable to some extent. The stifling of criticism. Once classics are mythologized, people often dare not or are unwilling to criticize them. The cultural and academic circles may form a consensus that any challenge to these works is an offense to cultural traditions. This mythologization process stifles the reinterpretation and critical thinking of classics, causing them to become a spiritual shackle. 2. The suppression of creativity by classics. Framing the boundaries of innovation. The mythologization of classics often sets the boundaries of innovation. Artists, writers, and thinkers may feel constrained by the high standards set by these classics, worrying that their works do not meet the standards of classics or are not recognized as high level. As a result, many innovations are suppressed within the framework and cannot break through the limitations of tradition. Standardized aesthetics. The worship of classics may make people's aesthetics tend to be single, overemphasizing the techniques, themes, or styles of classics, and ignoring other art forms that may be more innovative and challenging. This phenomenon not only spreads among creators, but also has an impact on audiences and readers, leading to the standardization of cultural aesthetics. Number 3. The alienation of classics as cultural tools. Consolidation of cultural patterns. After being mythologized, classics often become part of elite culture and consolidate the cultural capital of certain social groups. The right to interpret and inherit classics is usually in the hands of a few cultural elites. Through their monopoly on classics, they isolate these works from popular culture, making classics no longer belong to the masses, but become ivory tower products in the academic halls. Symbolization and commercialization. Once classic works are mythologized, they are often symbolized or commercialized. They are no longer just carriers of content and ideas, but symbols of identity, status, and cultural accomplishment. For example, the collection of some classic literary works has become a symbol of wealth rather than a tool for aesthetic experience. 4. Conflict between personal freedom and classics. Suppression of personalized expression. When classics become spiritual shackles, they often suppress personal free expression. Many people may feel that only by imitating or following the style, theme, or expression of classics can they create orthodox or valuable. This imitation of classics may lead to the neglect of personalized artistic expression and the inability to fully express one's unique thoughts and emotions. Liberate thoughts from classics. In order to break the shackles brought by classics, creators need to dare to question these mythologized works and have the courage to seek new ways of expression outside of tradition. Freedom of thought should not be restricted by classics. The essence of art lies in innovation and the uniqueness of personal experience. True freedom comes from critical thinking about classics, not blind acceptance. 5. Re-examining the value of classics. Returning to humanity from myths, classics often become classics because they touch common human emotions or thoughts. However, when classics are mythologized, their original meaning and humanity may be obscured. When re-examining classic works, we need to rediscover their true value from the historical background, human experience, and cultural context of these works, rather than simply following the external judgment criteria. Give new life to classics. Classic works can break free from the shackles of mythification by reinterpreting and giving modern meaning. Many artists and writers reinterpret classics in contemporary society, incorporating the emotions and thoughts of modern society and giving new vitality to classic works. This recreation of classics not only breaks the shackles of classics, but also makes them shine with new brilliance in the new cultural context. Number 6. The necessity of questioning classics. Cultivation of critical thinking. Questioning classics is not only an academic attitude, but also a way of thinking. By questioning classics, we can cultivate our own critical thinking, break the blind worship of established authority, and pursue more independent thoughts and creations. Although classic works have important cultural value, they are not flawless. Like all cultural products, they also have their own limitations and historical background. Redefine classics. The value of classics is not immutable, but constantly changes with the development of the times. We need to constantly redefine what is a classic and break those solidified aesthetic and cultural standards. Every era should have its own classics, and these classics come from reflection and breakthroughs on old classics. Conclusion. After being mythologized, classics may indeed become a spiritual shackle that constrains creativity, critical thinking, and personalized expression. However, the key to breaking this shackle is to maintain a critical attitude towards classics, dare to question, reinterpret, and give them new meaning. The true value of classics lies in their ability to constantly inspire new ideas, rather than becoming an unquestionable cultural monument.